Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Ken.
Good morning. Good morning.
And I'd like for you to welcome to the studio my beloved wife, Dr. April Brown,
Hello.
and Chris, the video man Osmore.
Hello, good
I
morning.
have many nicknames for you, but that's one of them. You're very gifted in what you do.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Today is a good day, and we have a special topic we're going to be talking about, which is continuing our discussion on honor. But this one was very focused on building trust with clients.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so obviously that is very important to us here at Destiny Global, and also obviously because it's a topic that was recommended, it's important to you. So we want to visit with that a few minutes. And Chris, I know that you specifically wanted to join because you had a question for us, but before we get there is we actually use some common tools that we teach at every First Steps. It's called FORM, to get to know the person. What does FORM stand for? Family, occupation, their recreation, and then the message. What is their message that they want to get across? Because when they share their message, it allows you to share your message or what you want to help, what you would like to help them with, if possible, or refer them to someone who can help them, or they can help, either way. But the reality of it is that trust is built by doing something over and over again, and your word becomes reality for them. So if you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. That can be not only with the client, but with your spouse or with your children. In fact, that's one of the worst things that can happen is a person not delivering on what they said. And the book called Codependent No More, when a person does not keep their word, and over time it begins to build this sense that the person that you're not delivering for feels rejected. And rejection is a monster. It is called the monster life because it brings up so many emotions and feeling. And that's one thing you don't want to do. And if you run into a client that's facing that, you've got to calm them down from that and know why, what happened, and how you're going to resolve it. What's the plan of action?
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it, Chris. And you ask away, my friend.
All right. So we're going to be talking about really honoring, but how do you build trust with either a new client or a previous client or your current client? How do you build trust with that person over a period of time? Like how it's just not like a one and done type thing.
Right.
It's a continuous relationship. So how do you build trust with your clients?
Would you like to answer that one first?
Sure.
I'll give you a go.
So you kind of already gave that kind of preface for what we train here and do with FORM, again, family, occupational, recreation, and message. And the thing that I really think is so important to build before any of that is rapport. So you want to build a rapport with them, that asking them questions and listening. Because as soon as you dive into all the things that you want to tell them, you've kind of lost that opportunity to really hear their need. And sometimes it's limited time that you have, so you really want to listen to their needs and just what's really important to them, and what are their gifts, what are their interests, and just really listening for those things. And it is about listening. I mean, that is so key. Rapport and listening are probably the biggest things. So finding something that you find that really interests you, legitimately interests you, not playing oh my gosh, that's so awesome, and you're have no interest in that. But really rapport is when you have that genuine interest in them.
So you're seeing something happening right now before your very eyes. So obviously GEMS comes into play, or your personality type, and the 4 types of personalities. A Pearl is focused on a passion. Sapphire is on fun. A Ruby is on getting things done, a challenge, control, and then you have an Emerald that's about working towards perfection and facts and figures. And so April answered this from her perspective, which is very true. So if you're talking to a Pearl, you better be listening. And that's what she expects. From a Ruby, you can listen all you want, but if you're not delivering, you're not going to be I'm not going to be your client for very long. So the key is knowing who your client is. As she said, you're going to know that by asking questions.
Right.
She was leading you right down the right
Mm-hmm.
path. She was leaving breadcrumbs for you, Chris.
That,
So
Thank
knowing your client, knowing who they are. Right?
Mhm.
I don't approach like when I approach Butch in the office is very different than
Right.
the way that I approach Jen Ratchford or how I approach
yes.
you
Yeah.
or how I approach
Mhm.
Jeremy. I approach different people based on how God created them and honor them in that, and also know that they're going to have a different expectation of an answer. Like one is going to want a lot of details. Butch can have generals, you can have generals, and you kind of go off and like to do your build your own thing. Some people want give me the
Yeah.
complete diagram
Right.
to the nuts and bolts, like building something that you would get from IKEA.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know where everything is in. They spread all this stuff out and make sure everything is totally organized. So really, when you're talking to clients and you want to build trust with them, it is listening. It's delivering on what you told them you would do. If people, why do people keep coming back to First Steps? Why do they keep
Mhm.
coming to events? Because even though the speaker may have changed, the message remains constant and the same,
Yes.
with some identified new areas that will even strengthen that message more. And that's what we've been
Yeah.
doing. But it's very
That's good.
important that you connect with your client
Mhm.
on a personal level. So when you're doing all this, you're also getting to know them because you want to know them.
Right.
If you don't want to know people, it's going to come across.
Yeah.
If we're not genuine here right now, you would not be watching. But you know us, those of that don't know us, we look forward to meeting you. In fact, we look forward to meeting you at First Steps, which is April 29th through May 1st. If you don't have your ticket, go get it because I want to meet you. But there's more to this, is knowing that when you build the trust, don't take things for granted.
Ooh.
And this is
Mhm.
something I've learned from my wife repeatedly, is keep your word. So, keeping my
Mhm.
word to you, keeping my word to our clients and what we're working towards
Yeah.
is just so important.
Like I can tell you, we've all had experiences where, like right off the bat, like somebody has lost trust with us, and you know it, and you feel it because you know that they don't care about you. They
Right.
could care less about you. We had an experience, and it really caused it like a real issue for us because I was looking to buy a bed, and we were like, who knew that they have like a whole thing at the fair for like bed, and there's all these sales people, and so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go try these beds. Well, this guy was like a piranha. He's like, you know, and
Mhm.
then like literally did not care like about, kind of acted for the first few minutes like he did, kind of asking the questions, but then immediately like didn't care what kind of bed I needed, tried to sell me like something that I didn't really even want.
So
Like-
tried to sell her something like a hospital bed and
Yeah.
telling her how good it was. I'd taken a break and gone to the bathroom, and they had cornered the Pearl with my kids.
Mhm.
And the kids are going, yeah, you need the bed. In this bed, you could go up and down and sideways and all these things. And it's like, yeah, the bed felt like a
Mhm.
brick, number one. And then he was trying to tell her how soft, and they could add these things to it. And it was just like customized to your needs. And it was only $20,000.
Oh yeah. Only.
Yeah. And we literally went to another place where these people were like, I mean, they were selling us this expensive bed, but they treated us so nice and wanted to know exactly what we wanted and did not try to upsell us. I mean, ultimately, they want to upsell us, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't feel sold. Everybody likes to buy, but they don't like to feel sold to. And
Yes,
they were
very
like
true.
legitimately wanted to know what we wanted, what kind
Mhm.
of pillow we wanted. Took their time. Like, take your time.
3-hour
Like,
process. They put us
yes.
in the ones that you could lay flat in, or it was slightly adjustable, or one that you could it was just like you could dial in your perfect size. I
Oh,
won't
yeah.
name the brand, but
Mhm.
otherwise I'll name your brand if you want to pay us an advertising fee. I'm just kidding. No, you're not. Then we defeat the purpose of what we do this
Right.
for. So, but it basically, you could adjust the different sides of the bed to what you wanted to sleep with, and all the different things that were going, that went with that bed. But at the end of the day, they said, what feels comfortable to you? Whether it was the
Right.
$200 mattress or the $10,000 mattress, this person was very genuine, and he had a cool accent because he was from England. So
Yes,
Yeah,
who doesn't want
that's-
to buy a bed from someone who
Accents
speaks?
are the best.
yeah, be
Yes.
careful with accents because you just
I know.
get drawn in. It's like, oh, this one is just oh.
And they seem nice when
Yeah,
they're
it-
doing it anyway, but then you add on to that, like, legitimately interested in you, interested in what you want, and built such amazing rapport
Well, he
with
called.
us and the kids.
No, he did,
Yeah.
and so much so that he found out that he said, "Well, I'm gonna give you this pillow, but if it's not what you want, bring it back, and I'll give you a different one."
Wow.
As well
Mhm.
as within a week of getting the bed sent to our home, he called to make sure it was set up correctly.
Wow.
Now, as a person that wants to be satisfied with what I had, you
Mhm.
don't want to buy something and then you get something that's so frequent called buyer's remorse.
Mm.
Somebody will buy something and within a short period of time, they're going, "Man, I wished I wouldn't have done this."
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure when you're helping a client do this, don't just sell them something. See, that's
Mhm.
it. What Zig Ziglar talked about this years ago. If you can sell ice to an Eskimo, then you're probably a con artist.
Mm-hmm.
Find their need and help them solve the problem they're looking for specifically and make them feel fulfilled. Then you don't have to worry about any of the other things because when they're fulfilled, they're not going to have buyer's remorse.
Mhm.
And you follow up. What do we do
That's
here?
so good.
Yeah.
What do we do
Yeah.
here? Actually, Chloe, our daughter, writes handwritten scripted letters to
Yes.
every single client that comes through the doors of this company and to our coaches and everyone else and all the important things. And it's just important that we stay connected
Mm-hmm.
with our clients and then involved in social media and just communicating so we know what's going on in people's lives. But just staying connected to people to know what their life changes,
Yeah.
right? April and I
does.
would not have purchased the bed we bought 10 years ago because that's not what our bed was fine.
Mhm.
We've gotten a little bit older. I have anyway.
Yeah, speak for
She's gotten
yourself.
younger. But the long story short, can you see the gray? You know, I'm going to start
Mhm.
coloring this. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But the truth of the matter is that your needs change over time. And you need to stay connected to
Mhm.
people as they do it. Our business needs change. Think about us for a
Mhm.
second. Before, we didn't have to do things in a studio.
Mm. Yeah.
We had
True.
a camera in the green room and we
Yeah.
filmed everything from this little room. We didn't have to do a first steps from in here because you didn't have the need for it. Everything was done live.
Yeah.
Everything changed. So we had to transition and work to do that. And a lot of people,
Mhm.
their lives have changed. And so their needs change over time. You know, even people that get married, they don't have kids and they have kids. Talk about a huge transition in your life and
Yeah.
what do you trust? And so you see people on social media, what's your favorite thing? And they get all of these suggestions. And 9 times out of 10, their kid doesn't like what they wear because their kids are unique to
Mhm.
them. And like, what do you go to the place and try it. And so few places do that. That's why, you talk about customer service in a place and even Deanie and her, when she was here, she would talk about a place in Fredericksburg. We were just talking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Italian restaurant in Fredericksburg that is off the hook in customer service because he knows it's a high tourist area. He finds out who the local people are and he knows who the tourists are. He takes care of both. But understand, if you're local
Mhm.
and he knows that, he takes
And you
ex-
come back. You keep
ex-
coming back.
yes,
and
he
he's
knows
especially-
us by name. He has
Mhm.
nicknames, especially for me.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
And he'll call different names and he'll put my name on the list and then all of a sudden my name comes up 10 minutes after I get there because he knows
Yeah.
that we're
Mhm.
frequent and we come there and give him a lot of business and we refer to him.
That's huge.
Their food's incredible, but the service is outstanding,
Mhm.
right? For a little bitty hole in the wall in Fredericksburg, Texas, and this place does a tremendous amount of business. And this one guy, he meets you he's one of the owners, but he meets you at the door. He makes sure that you're seated, and he checks on you as you get your meal delivered. Every single time.
I have to go check this out. Wow. This is incredible.
So what's
Yeah.
the lessons that you can learn from this?
Mm.
Listen. When
Mhm.
you're trying to help somebody, talk to them, but listen to them. Use the gifts if you don't know what form is in its full capacity, which we're going to have exercises for this because we've gotten away from it as a community.
Yeah.
And that's really
Mhm.
forming people, getting to know them, spending time and genuinely caring about the person across from you that you're talking to. Okay? Understand their personality type as you're doing that. And then you can start figuring out what their need is. But don't drag your wagon, as they say, with all your products. And let me show you what I got on here.
Right.
You got to try this today. Here, smell
And
this.
something that they probably don't even need.
Or they have
Like-
a competing product, as you have found out before.
Mhm.
oh, you got to try this oil, and they rub it on you, and you can't go to the bathroom fast enough to try to get it off because you don't like that one, right? So it's knowing that you need to find out the need before you even try to solve anything, and then you need to help them open up about it. What is an interesting fact about this is that strangers, if you communicate them well, they'll tell you more than sometimes your closest friends.
Wow.
They will open up to you. It's a
If they
proven
feel
fact.
you genuinely care
Yes.
about them.
And that's how you take clients from from your competitors at times, is because you'll communicate with them and find out their need.
Wow.
And by the way, those that just go somewhere and they hop from thing to thing and don't really care about the person, they're trying to find the next quick fix or trying to make the money off this or that, it will show up. It will show up.
Eventually.
It will show up
Yeah.
eventually because they're not truly caring about who you are. They use you as a consumer for their own benefit, not trying to help you succeed. And that's obviously why our company is geared towards helping our clients have results that are
Yes.
proven in their own life. And
Yeah.
it's what we do.
So good.
That was
So good.
Yeah.
This is a really good topic. By the way, thank you for
Yeah.
your
My word.
suggestions. We
Yeah.
want to thank you for joining us today and have a most blessed day. Again, First Steps to Success, April
Wanna see you
29th
there.
through May 1st. We want you there. We're having a service day on the 20th.
Yeah.
That Friday morning. And it's going to be spectacular. So we look forward to seeing you. Have a most blessed day. And we'll
Yes.
see you next time
Thank
on
you
Coffee
for
with
joining
Kids.
us. Bye.
Thanks. Cheers.